Alright guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, I'm going to go over an email sent to me from a subscriber, and this guy tells his story how he was able to get a clean slate, a second chance after ending his marriage with his cheating wife. And guys, the reason I'm doing this is because I want you guys to understand and know that if you are in a marriage or in a relationship that isn't going so well, and you're a little bit older, because this guy's in his early 40s, and well, certainly early 40s isn't that old in my opinion. To some guys, they think it is. And it goes to show that even if you go through some hardships, you can get a clean slate, start over, and have a great life. And this guy's situation is basically he was married for 2 decades. Your typical marriage. The guy, he really loved his wife and kids, did his best to provide for them, loved them unconditionally, all that. But with his wife, obviously, it was just your stereotypical marriage. Sex was pretty much few and far between, and even then it wasn't exactly exciting. And then one day, his wife starts having suspicious behavior, and he could tell something was wrong, and one thing led to another, and big surprise, she was cheating. And guys, I'm doing this because unfortunately this is something that happens a lot, so I want to share with you guys the situation and the story, so if you're ever in this situation, you can spot the red flags and see it coming, and also again know that even if you're a little bit older, you can get a second chance and have a really good life, because this is a good one. So, starts off saying, "Dear SSM, I'm a huge fan, keep the videos coming. I was married for 19 years. I met my ex-wife when I was in the service. I was 21 at the time and didn't know the legal ramifications of marriage. I wish someone would have sat me down and explained what marriage meant legally." Guys, I don't know why in this day and age that every guy that's about to get married, he doesn't have somebody that he respects, his dad, his uncle, his grandfather, just somebody that has been through it, sits down and explains to a young guy both what you're getting into in terms of a marriage, and I'm not talking about the bullshit you see on TV or movies. I'm talking about reality, what a marriage is like, and also somebody that's been through divorce and can tell the young guy exactly what you're going to go through emotionally, financially, all that shit if you get a divorce. So the young guy really can think things through before he jumps into it. And sure, a lot of young guys might think that, my girlfriend's different, or we're different, but at least the young guy can hear this, really, for you guys that are watching this, and your fathers or grandfathers, whatever, and you have sons that one day want to get married, please sit them down and be straight and direct with them, even if they don't want to hear it, because you're going to save them a lot of trouble. He says, "My former wife and I have 2 kids together, a girl and a boy. I love my wife and kids with everything I am. Still love my kids. I provided a very good life with my wife and kids. We lived in a good area and they went to good schools. We had our ups and downs, but nothing horrible. Sex was extremely boring. I had many opportunities to sleep with very attractive women while I was married, but I didn't. I'm kicking myself now." So it shows this guy's a good guy, even though he had opportunities to hook up with other women, and they probably wouldn't have cared that he was married. Big surprise. He didn't, And a lot of guys are like that because generally guys are loyal, The old joke about how men are like dogs and women are like cats. Dogs are loyal, and so guys are the same way in so many ways. Does that mean some guys aren't that way? Yeah, but mostly guys are loyal, and if they're happy and all that, they're not going to cheat or step out or any of that shit. And as for him saying he was kicking himself, well, you know what? At the end of the day, he's free now, so he can hook up with every chick he wants now to the day he dies, as long as it's still working down south. So, goes on. Fast forward to the bitter end. Kids were older, one graduated, and the other in high school. My wife started working more than normal. She also started dressing nicer than usual for work. Pay attention to that, guys. I kept hearing about her boss and how great of a guy he was. She would brag about how much money he made, maybe to make me jealous. I do very well for myself. I'm not rich, but I'm into the 6 figures. Guys, as I've said before, I even said this in a video yesterday, whenever a woman, your girlfriend or your fiance or wife, starts talking about some other dude randomly, whether it's a male coworker, her boss, just somebody in her life, if she starts talking about some guy out of nowhere, that's for a reason. That's pretty much her way, the female way of communicating, hey, I'm not happy, and this guy is going to be a replacement, or the guy I'm going to be hooking up with pretty soon if you don't get with the program. In her mind, what you getting with the program is. You could be doing everything right in your mind, but in her mind, however that works, you're doing something wrong. So she's bringing up this guy to get with the program. And instead of just directly saying, I'm not happy and I want you to do this, this, and this, the way they do it is they do things like this. It's crazy. And by the way, guys, as I said before, this is why women can get psycho when you start talking about a woman at random. You could literally be talking about the old lady at the checkout counter at the grocery store who just said a nice thing to you, and your average crazy woman would just snap about that. About some 70-year-old lady at the checkout counter. I'm exaggerating here, but you know what I'm talking about. That's why, because in their mind, oh, if you're bringing up some other woman, then obviously something's going on. When you're just randomly talking about somebody that you had a conversation with for 30 seconds with or whatever. It's crazy. And this part here, when she talked about, she was mentioning her boss, and he's making how much money he makes and all that. Guys, women are always going to pay attention to guys that are more successful and have higher status and making more money. So this guy says he makes well into the six figures, which is awesome, by the way. That's a really nice, comfortable life. I mean, also it depends on where you live and all that, but still, that's pretty darn good. You could be making 150 grand a year and living in an area where 150 grand a year gives you a very nice, comfortable life. But if your wife or fiance or girlfriend meets some dude that's making 300 grand a year, even if you're doing everything right and she obviously, really cares about you, loves you, or likes you, whatever you want to classify it as, trust me, she's paying attention to that guy making 300 grand a year. And let's just say that you started screwing up and she left you, she'd go to the guy making 300 grand a year. And then if he was doing everything right, fine. But then she met some dude making $1 million a year. Guess what? If he was paying attention to her and he seemed to like her, and the guy making 300 grand a year was fucking up, guess what? Next thing you know, if things don't go well, she's going to go for the guy making $1 million a year, and so on and so forth. The same way that we're always going to be on the lookout for hotter chicks that like us. So, no surprise there. One day she says, I'm not sure if I want to be married anymore. I was hurt, but I suggested we go to counseling to see if our marriage is worth working on. She refused to go, so I went by myself. Her saying, I'm not sure if I want to be married anymore, guess what? What that actually means is, I don't want to be married anymore. And of course, when he brought up marriage counseling, because he obviously wants to fix this, even though, by the way, you can tell he obviously wasn't very happy to begin with how things were going, he still wanted to work on it, and she didn't want to go. Pay attention to people's actions. So trust me, she didn't want to be married anymore, and she didn't want to work on it. So that says everything. Wait till you see what happens next. I had an idea something was going on between the boss and her, but I didn't have proof. She played a lot of head games, as you can imagine. During this waiting period, one of them was the classic, buy me a new car. She brought it up 4 separate times. I told her, you don't know if you want to be married, but you want me to buy you a car. I'm not buying you a car, jewelry, or a pair of goddamn shoes. I ain't buying you shit. Quit asking. Good for this guy for laying down the law. Yeah, I'm not sure if I want to be married anymore, but will you buy me jewelry? Will you buy me a car? I lay low, and eventually she got sloppy. Only took 4 months. She had a work-related trip. At least that's what she told me. I found out she was seeing someone from a friend of hers while she was on vacation in Massachusetts with her boss. On vacation in Massachusetts with her boss. I'm in Massachusetts. I wonder where they went. I retained an attorney and opened a new bank account before she got back. She was actually mad I wanted a divorce. It hurt, but I stood a little taller as each day passed. Good for you, man. She was mad that he wanted a divorce. She wanted a divorce. And she was obviously cheating. What a little bullshit. Because now she can play the victim. Oh, I only brought up saying that I don't know if I want to be married anymore. And, of course, the cheating. But then the husband brings up, and now she can play the victim and try to milk it for everything it's worth, both in terms of the divorce court and divorce settlements, and also with family and friends to get pity and make him out to be the villain. Isn't that a nice reward for him spending 20 years of working hard to support the family, provide nice things, treat her well, pass up on women that wanted to hook up with him? What a nice way to say thank you. I started dating, and what do you know it? The wife wanted to come back after 1.5 months. Yeah, big surprise there. It was okay so long as he was single, but the second this guy started dating and found somebody that could replace her ass, all of a sudden she wants to work on things. No way. I didn't want anything to do with her. When I saw her, I wasn't attracted to her in any way. She disgusted me. Her new buddy broke it off with her probably after he realized that he would owe to his stay-at-home wife and 2 young kids. So the guy she was hooking up with was married and had kids. If this guy really wanted to stick it to her and her lover, he could have found out who his wife was and let her know, but he didn't say if he did that or not. I didn't want to do anything. I didn't want to have anything to do with my ex, so she made me pay for it in court. Big surprise. She got half of my pension and half of my investments. I also had to pay half the credit card she racked up. Child support was off the table since the divorce took 1.5 years and the kids were adults. Well, that's really nice. And I really hope that the kids don't have a problem with this guy. I really hope that, Hopefully because they're older and more mature. I met a great woman who doesn't need me to take care of her financially. My girlfriend makes what I make, so together we're killing it. She takes very good care of herself and is in great shape. We just enjoy each other's company and have a mutual respect. I am happy now. Well, that is awesome. And guys, after I read this guy's email, I wrote him back telling him, I said a little something to him about his story and situation. And I told him I'm going to do a video on this because I thought it was a good one. And he wrote back to me right away and he told me, thank you for that. And I hope this can help some guys out. But he also told me, and listen to this, he told me that what he went through, all this shit, was worth it. Because now how happy he is. He's got a clean slate and it's great, So even though he had to take a hit in terms of her getting half his pension and half his investments, and he had to pay half of her credit card debt, who knows what that was. But the bottom line is this guy now gets a clean slate. So doing the math, he's obviously in his early 40s, about my age. For us guys, our 30s and 40s are our prime. So if this guy is making 6 figures, the kids are out of the house, they're obviously, they've graduated, they're in college or doing whatever. This guy now has the opportunity to rebuild his wealth. So if half his money went to her, half the investment money went to the ex-wife, and he had to pay down credit card debts and all that shit, this guy, he can make it back. Okay? Because us guys, we're smart with money most of the time. I mean, some guys are fucking idiots with money, but most guys are frugal and we're going to save money. It's the women that blow the money, and we all know this. So this guy's a chance to rebuild, okay? And in no time, he'll rebuild his wealth, and now he's out with it, has a girlfriend he's happy with, who's obviously hot, he's having a great time, and the sky's the limit in terms of what this guy can do. The only thing I'd recommend is, absolutely, as I always say, after he's been through this whole divorce, what it's been through, and the marriage of 20 years and seeing what happened, the stereotypical stuff that happens, don't get married again, okay? Seriously, it's not worth it. This guy, he's been through it. Just have a good time, And if things run its course with his girlfriend, there's plenty of other women. But keep doing in life what makes you happy. Work on your purpose. Find things that you enjoy, and just enjoy yourself. You got a second chance. You got a clean slate. Enjoy yourself. And so, for any of you guys out there that are in a situation like this, where, and I'm not saying just necessarily a cheating wife, but just simply you're really unhappy in the marriage. Life is short. And so even if you're older, 40s or even 50s or 60s, fuck it. You always have time to start over, get a clean slate, get a second chance, okay? Because unless somebody can prove to me otherwise that we get another life after this, you got one life. And it goes fast. Trust me. I'm 42. I thought it feels like yesterday I was 25. Like that. I'm going to wake up one day and be 60. So goddamn it, I'm enjoying my life now. And I recommend all you guys to do the same thing. But at the same time, you're always working hard to improve yourselves on your purpose and all these other good things in life. And you will have a nice life. So guys, if you're not happy, take action, do something about it. You don't want to wake up tomorrow and be 60 and say, what happened to my life? Take action today. So, all right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. and I'll catch you next time.